Hello and welcome to part 2 of the App Event Count Lab. What we're going to do next is we need to go ahead and give our app delegate access to our view controller. So let me just go ahead and type in the code to do that. So I will go ahead and expand. So we need to go into our app delegate class. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up a variable. It's going to be called view controller, and it is going to be of type view controller, and it will be an optional. So that's our variable. Then what I need to do is I need to go into the did finish launching with options, and I need to go ahead and set that view controller equal to our root view controller. So let me just go ahead and do that. Our view controller variable, that will happen when the app actually launches. And it will be equal to our root view controller. And we're going to go ahead and cast it as our view controller. Okay, so that code should be, we should now have access to our view controller, or our root view controller, which is the only view controller that we have in this app. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and write the code that'll update each one of our variable counts, our app delegate method variable counts. So we're going to go into our first method, and we're just going to go ahead and type in view controller, and it'll be an optional, and then we'll go ahead and call the launch count method, and we'll go ahead and add 1 to that. So we need to go into each one of our other methods or functions. So the application will resign active. Again, we'll set our view controller dot resign active count to plus equals 1. And then we will go into the next one, which is our application did enter background. So let me just go ahead and type that in, view controller question mark, and enter background count, and we'll set that plus equal to 1. And then we need to do the same thing with our foreground. And then that will be enter foreground count. That will go ahead and increment. And then when the app becomes active, we'll go ahead and increment that count. Or become active count. Okay, and then finally our application will terminate. Will terminate count. Okay, so we've gone ahead, we've updated each one, or added the code to increment the counter for each one of our app delegate functions when they get called. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and actually call our update view method. In addition to calling it in our view did load, we need to call it in our application did become active. So we need to first call that on our view controller object. So we'll go ahead, type that in, a dot, update view. Okay, so what will happen here is that our application did become active, will be called after each of the other lifecycle methods is called, and just before the user can interact with the app again. So it's the perfect place to call the view controller's update view, ensuring that the labels display the proper count. So we have all our code. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run our application. So I'm just going to change it to an iPhone 8, and we will click on run, and we'll go ahead and actually see what happens here. So our build succeeded. Our app event count app is being launched. And it should be coming up here any second. There it is. It's finally come up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, run our app event. The app will go ahead. It's starting up slowly but surely. And there we go. So the app has launched one time, and the application did become active, has been called one time. So we can go ahead and see that basically what functions get called. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and press Command-Shift-H, and that'll take me to the home page. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put our app in the background. I'll click on our app again, and now you can see the counts have been incremented. The app has launched is still 1, but the other life cycle events have now added a count to them. The will resign did enter background, will enter foreground, and didn't become active was incremented 2 times. I'll go ahead and do that again. Command-Shift-H, go ahead. Hit that a couple times. And I think I might have put it into Surrey here, so will become active has been called 2 times. We'll hit Command-Shift-H, Command-Shift-H, and then we'll go ahead, run our app again. Let me see if I can find it in all of these that are listed. Okay, animal quiz, delegates. There we go, app event. I'll open it up again. So now you can see that the numbers have been incremented again. So basically what this just goes ahead and shows you, helps you visualize the app lifecycle. And the one thing you'll notice that the application will terminate variable will never get incremented since because the app's data is lost between terminations. So when we basically shut it off and turn it back on, that data has been lost since we're not saving it someplace. So that is the end of our lab for Unit 4-2.